Hey everybody, this is Mac, and we are going to do some absolute value equations. We're going to learn how to solve problems using that absolute value. Okay, so this is version B. I have a version A, and a whole thing where I work these out online that can kind of teach you how to do it, and that can be found at oh, I didn't have it right. Oh, it's right there on the bottom. Maxtutorials.com. Okay, so go to Max Tutorials, MACS, and like and subscribe to these videos, and it would really help me out. Okay, so all you do when you see the absolute value, you're going to just write it the way it is, x minus 5 equals 8. Okay? But also you're going to write x minus 5 equals a negative 8. Okay? Because whatever comes out of this, if it's a positive 8 or a negative 8, it's going to come out the absolute value as a positive 8. So that's why you're going to get two answers. I'll show you. Watch. We're going to add 5 to both sides. I'm going to get x equals 13 as one answer. And now I'm going to add 5 to both sides here. And I'm going to get x equals, signs are different, subtract, keep the sign of the bigger number. I'm going to get a negative 3. Now watch, what happens if I plug in 13? What's 13 minus 5? 8. What's the absolute value of 8? 8. Let's plug in negative 3. What's the negative 3? Add a line, change the sign, plus negative 5. It's negative 8. What's the absolute value of negative 8? 8. Okay, so that's why we have to come up with two answers, and we're looking for both the positive and the negative version of what's on the right. Oh, I wonder what there. Okay. So number 2, I have an absolute value. So remember, now another way to do it is this. You just figure out which way you like better, okay? So I'm going to write x plus 2. To get rid of the absolute value sign, I just have to go plus minus to the right side, a positive 6 and a negative 6. That's how we'll write it as one equation. Now when I subtract 2 from both sides, x equals, I like to write this in front of the plus or minus. Okay, you could write plus or minus 6 minus 2, that's fine. But I think people usually do better when it's seen like this. Now, what is a negative 2 plus 6? That's going to be a positive 4. What's a negative 2 minus 6? Well, that's like add a line, change a sign, which would be a negative 8. So you do which one you like better. Now, if I see that there's some math to do inside the absolute value, I'll usually write it twice. I think it's going to be a little bit easier that way. And so just write it like normal. 2x minus 4 equals 10. But then for the second one, you want 2x minus 4 to equal the negative 10. So that's how we take it out of the absolute value. We go plus and minus to whatever's on the right. Okay, so now I'm going to add 4. I should say the other side, not the right, because the absolute value could be on the left. But you know what I mean. Okay, divide each by 2, and now I'm going to get my x is going to equal 7. All right, let's do this one. I'm going to add 4 to both sides. Boom, 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 boom. 2x equals, signs are different, so subtract, whoops, and keep the sign of the bigger number, which is negative. And then, I'm going to doing a 3 there. And then once I divide each side by 2, x equals negative 3. All right, let's go on to number 4 here. 4x plus 8 equals 16. We just write it without the absolute value like normal. And then we got to do another one where we write it like normal, but we go negative on the right. Okay, now these are just two-step equations. Maybe I should zoom in. Might look a little bit better to you that way. Sorry about that. 4x, they die, equals 8. Once I divide each by 4, x equals 2. Okay, here minus 8, boom, die. 4x equals, add a line, change the sign, negative 24. Once I divide each side by 4, x equals negative 6. Cool? All right, let's go on to number 5. All right, so now on this one, I'm not allowed to do the absolute value until I get rid of everything that's not in the absolute value. I'm only allowed to go plus or minus when the absolute value is all alone. So my first step here has to be to subtract 3 to both sides. And then once I do that, I get my absolute value of x minus 4 equals 8. Now the absolute value is alone. Now I can do this. X minus 4 equals, let's try this way, plus or minus 8. Once I add 4 to both sides, I'm going to get x equals 4 plus or minus 8. What's 4 plus 8? 12. What's 4 minus 8? Add a line, change the sign. That's going to be a negative 4. Okay, you do the way you like best. This one, the 3 is in front. Well, if you have a number in front, treat it like it's a parenthesis. And all I have to do is divide by each of these. Boom. And I'm left with absolute value of x plus 2 equals 6. Now I'm going to go, oh, no more absolute value. I'm just going to write x plus 2 equals plus or minus 6. And once I subtract 2 from both sides, I'm going to get x equals negative 2 plus or minus 6. Well, what's a negative 2 plus 6? That's just going to be a 4. And what's negative 2 minus 6? Add a line, change the sign. That's going to be a negative 8. Let's go on to number 7. I can't do the absolute value trick because the absolute value is not by itself. So I go like that, and I'm going to get an absolute value of x plus 7 equals 9. Now I get to do the trick. Okay, so I go plus or minus 9, and once I subtract 7, watch how I write it. X equals, I'm going to write the negative 7 to the left, then the plus or the minus, and the 9. What is a negative 7 plus 9? It is 2. What is a negative 7 minus 9? Add a line, change the sign. It is negative 16. Again, if I'm solving these and doing the negatives too quickly for you, if you go back to that Max tutorials, if you go to Unit 1, that's where I deal with the negative numbers, and Unit 2 is where I deal with solving the equations. So I know I'm going pretty quick right now because I'm assuming you've looked at those videos and gone through it. So if not, go back and do those, then come back here, and I think you'll feel more comfortable. Now this one, I've got to do all of that. I've got to subtract the 1 first. And once I do that, I'm going to get 2 absolute value of x minus 3 equals, they die, 12. But that 2 is still in the way. So now I've got to divide each side by 2. Okay, and I'm going to get absolute value of x minus 3 equals 6. Now I can do the trick. And remember, if you take away an absolute value, you just go plus or minus to the right. I'm going to add 3 to both sides, and I'm going to get x equals 3 plus or minus 6. What is 3 plus 6? It is 9. What is 3 minus 6? Add a line, change the sign. That would be a negative 3. All right? Let's keep going here. Number 9, that minus 2 is what's in the way. I can't do the trick. So I'm going to have to add 2 to both sides. And now I'm going to get 2x plus 6 absolute value of, and that's going to equal 10. All right. Now, I could just take away the absolute value, no plus or minus 10, but then there's a lot of math I still got to do with it. So it's going to be a little bit easier if I just write it twice, I think. 2x plus 6 equals 10, and 2x plus 6 equals negative 10. And then just solve it twice. It won't take us long. We're good. We know what we're doing. We've looked at chapter 2 of maxtutorials.com. We've gone through those videos, and we are pros now. And so now I'm going to get a 2. And on this one, I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. Die. 2x equals, add a line, change the sign, negative 16. And once I divide everybody by 2, I'm going to get x equals negative 8. Okay? Okay, so on number 10, if you notice, the absolute value is not by itself, the 5's in front. So when it's in front, that's when we do the divide by. And we're going to divide each side by 5, and that's how we get rid of that. And we're going to get absolute value of x minus 1 equals 5. Now on this one, since there's no number in front of the x, I think it's just easier to go x minus 1 equals plus or minus 5. I'm giving you 2 ways to do these. If you like writing it twice, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Go ahead and do that. 1 plus or minus 5. What's 1 plus 5? 6. Add a line, change the sign. Negative 4. Okay, and there's number 10. Going on to number 11. So absolute value is not alone. So I have to get it by itself first. That is goal number 1, is get that absolute value by itself. So now I get this, right? And then 10 minus 4 is going to be 6. Now I'm going to get x plus 9 equals, I took away the absolute value, so now I got to go plus or minus 6. Now I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. X equals negative 9 plus or minus 6. Well, what's a negative 9 plus 6? It's a negative 3. And if I do my add a line, change the sign, I'm going to get a negative 15. And those are my 2 answers. Okay? Let's go on to number 12. Wow, there's a lot going on here. Okay, step number 1 is I got to get rid of that 8. Always do your pluses or minuses first to get rid of stuff. Okay, so we got 4, not parentheses, sorry, absolute value of x minus 5. They die equals 24. Now we're going to divide, not by 2, we're going to divide each side by 4. Boom. And I get absolute value of x minus 5 equals 6. And so this one is a pretty easy one. So I'm just going to go x minus 5 equals plus or minus 6. Add 5, boom, die. X equals 5 plus or minus 6. Well, what is 5 plus 6? That would be 11. Add a line, change the sign. What's 5 plus negative 6? That's a negative 1. And there's your answers. All right, we got a couple more to do here. So on this one, I'm going to subtract 2 to both sides because remember, my goal is I'm trying to get the absolute value all by itself. Okay, then once I've done that, I'm going to write this one twice. Whenever I see a number in front of that x, I always think it's just easier for students, even though we can do it the other way still. It's just I've seen the mistakes people make, and if you go this way, there's going to be so many less mistakes, so many fewer mistakes. Maybe I should be an English teacher. Here we go. No, probably not. Okay. Oh, I just divided everything by. I just went too fast. I apologize. I'm going to slow myself down. Maybe it's because I'm talking while I'm doing this. 3x equals 6. Divide each side by 3. X equals 2. Got to slow down and think every once in a while. Now I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. I'm going to get 3x equals, ooh, what's going on here? Add a line, change the sign. That's going to be a negative 12. And once I divide each by 3, x equals negative 4. All right. And number 14, last one. Now, what would you do if you had a 2x minus 4 equals 8? Well, you know that you have to get the x by itself. You're going to move the 4 first. That's all I'm doing here. Okay, so same thing. I'm just going to add 4 to both sides. Boom, die. And I'm going to get 2 absolute value of x minus 6 equals 12. Then when I divide everybody by 2, absolute value of x minus 6 is going to equal 6. And now I'm going to get x minus 6 equals, take away the absolute value, go plus or minus to the right. And then I'm just going to add 6 to both sides. And I'm going to get x equals 6 plus or minus 6. What is 6 plus 6? It is 12. What is 6 minus 6? It is 0. And now I have an answer. And look, I had a process for each one of those. Look how pretty that looks. Not the penmanship, but just the setup, okay? So there's version B. And I know this took a while, but I hope now you feel better about how these work. Okay, when I do it, you can hear my dog snore just a little bit. And so that's kind of fun. And so he likes to sit on the couch next to me while I do these videos. But I guess I kind of bore him because he always falls asleep. But you know what? 15-year-old dogs will do that. Okay. Anyway, sorry about that. I digress. Congratulations on getting through version B. If you need more help, go to C. If you feel like you got it, feel free to move on to the next section because we're going to do these with inequalities and those are going to get a little bit hairy. So make sure you really understand, and I'll see you either there or I'll see you on version C. Take care now.